Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is a special episode of the 513 podcast. I'm with Nick and Bryson. I don't even think I have to ask the boys how they're doing. Big news just dropped. Orlando Brown Jr. is signing a 4-year, $64 million deal with the Bengals. $31 million is a signing bonus. I mean, what's your guys' initial reaction to this? I mean, obviously one of the best left tackles in the game right now, 26 years of age. What are you guys thinking? Like, obviously we didn't make any moves besides signing Pratt and letting some guys go, but what's your initial thoughts?
Well, it's more or less a low-risk, high-reward type move, I feel, because we signed Leia last year to a team-friendly deal. He was now able to get cut for $7 million. Rest in peace, Leia. We appreciate everything you've done. But no, he's to me, this is how I view it. He's a younger, better, more improved version of Leia Collins, who's, not as injury-prone. He's only taking up, I think the numbers just came out, he's taking up around $8 to $9 million in cap space on a $16 million front-loaded deal. So this is a front-loaded deal. This is going to be, most of the money is going to be done and over with by the time Burrow and T and Chase all get their money. So again, low-risk, high-reward type deal. I don't think anything could really go too wrong with this.
I mean, like you said, the 8 to 9 mil cap hit. I mean, I saw a thing as soon as it came out in July of 2022. He was offered a deal with the Chiefs that would pay him $23 million a year over 6 years. And he came to Cincinnati and took basically a pay cut. Same signing bonus, less of a term, 4 years, but only 16 a year. I mean, huge.
I was on my phone 3 straight days being like, oh, my God, when is this move going to happen? When are we going to – Chauncey? Jasicki? Something, anything. All these free agents. And then I'm like – my twin brother actually wanted me to do a Madden game for him because he was busy with something. And then I checked my phone. It was like at halftime. Group chat is blowing up. I'm like, we must have finally got some – Orlando Brown. Oh, okay. Somehow the NFL rumors page is more reliable than any person we've had this week. Suddenly, we have a top 10 offensive line.
There have been I've lost count to how many sources or people with sources throughout the whole week that's just been proven wrong.
Yeah, Kyle.
Wrong after wrong.
Hey, man.
I've seen however many deals are done. We have a deals throughout the whole past 3 days. There's been multiple tweets from multiple people, not calling Kyle out, but there's been multiple people where I've seen that we've got something going on, and nothing's happened up to this point. So to me, it's kind of a sigh of relief. And then on top of that, this is a championship type move, in my opinion. You know how the line got better last year. It did. It wasn't as bad as it had been. And to me, the Bengals front office, they usually see that and they're like, all right, how do we keep that group together, and how do we let them build together? No, they went out, they signed the widely known top tackle in free agency with a loaded contract with guarantees and a $30 million signing bonus. So to me, this is a championship type move that will, I think, finally puts the front office over the top into what they can do and showing us what they're able to do now.
And I think, the NFL, welcome to a new era in Cincinnati. You're not wanting to see it, but that move right there just showed you this front office, other side, this front office is not cheap. They are not cheap. Mike Brown does not run it anymore. Hats off to Duke Tobin, Katie, Troy, all of them, all the front office. That move is incredible. Now, we'll see how it pans out, like you said.
I think the biggest thing to look at with this is Jonah. What's going to go on with him in a year or two? First of all, like Duke did say, oh, yeah, we could definitely move him to right tackle. That's a good idea. Like, they're not ruling that out, but
Well, here's the thing:
it's all
you don't pick up his 5th-year option, fully guaranteed, and just for him to sit the bench. You don't pick that up thinking that you're going to possibly make this signing that you just did.
He's making $12 million this year. He's not sitting on the bench. $12 million does not sit on the bench.
He will be playing right tackle. And if he's not playing right tackle, I'd be very surprised. Leal's 30. You don't see the Bengals going out and signing guys or keeping guys that are above 30 that are just injury prone and stuff like that. That's why Riley Reef was never back. Leal's probably gone. You could keep him as an insurance thing, but at this point, it's really not worth it in his career.
Especially when he's going to end up saving you $12 million, or not 12 million, that's Jonah. When he's going to end up saving you around 7.7 million was the official number, post June 1 cut. So again, that really factors into the Orlando deal as well, as to where he's going to essentially cost us $2 million more than Leal did. And to be honest, Leal, love you, man. He was a great guy, great person for the city. We had a great story with him last offseason. But his pass blocking wasn't where we needed it to be, but his run blocking was good. I'll give him his run blocking was really good.
Week 11 layout was huge against TJ. That was the week where that's the layout columns that we signed.
It's also, this Jonah at right tackle. Obviously, you don't know what you're getting, but this might be the best right tackle we've had since the early to mid 2010s, maybe. Obviously, you don't know what Jonah's going to bring you, but
absolutely. I kind of mentioned this in our chat earlier. Jonah, this could benefit Jonah in such a big way, and I've had a response already. Kyle and I were in a thread with this Chiefs fan saying how we demoted Jonah and how he's not going to make as much money now. And Jonah himself wasn't probably going to get paid to be a starting tackle anywhere if we let him walk in free agency next year. So moving him to right tackle to see if he can prove himself and solidify himself as our right tackle there really could end up being a huge boost for Jonah and a huge promotion for Jonah in a way that nobody could see coming. So again, it benefits everybody, in my opinion. Unless Jonah absolutely shits the bed, which I don't expect him to do. That's just not who he has been. He's been a consistent left tackle. He hasn't been a great left tackle, but he's been a consistent left tackle throughout his career.
And I want to hit on another thing with this whole Orlando contract with the high signing bonus and stuff like that. I think you're going to see a lot of that out of this front office. They're going to take the guarantees up. That's the first time we've seen that, and how long? This is a huge step for the front office to where they're getting to where they want to be. They want to be known as one of the top front offices in the league, and they haven't been getting their respect. Now this is just a huge step up for them.
I just see it as they're not scared to do what it takes, and that's very important as we get into this extension period of our franchise. And you still want to try and keep as many names as you can. They're willing to compete and they're willing to get the shit done.
Something I found out. Do you guys think Joe Mixon had anything to do with recruiting Orlando Brown? Because I looked at it; they were teammates in Oklahoma. And they were good friends in Oklahoma, so maybe this could mean something with Mixon saying, you come here on a pay cut, I can be your running back. You tell them you'll come if I'm your running back. So, that probably didn't happen, but I'm just thinking that may have affected his decision.
It's a tricky situation with Mixon right now, just based on his cap numbers and how much do you actually want to pay a running back. And, there's been some stories, some false allegations that have come out with Joe Mixon. But it certainly kind of drives you in another direction as to say, hey, we can go in this direction and we can do this to better ourselves with the cap and everything. But no, Joe Mixon's still great back in the NFL, and much respect to him. And if he was a part of this deal and the swing of the move, whatever the fuck you want to call it, if he was a part of this, then props to him, props to the front office for listening to him. And, if he stays, he could see a pretty good year from him.
Absolutely. I mean, with his cap hit only being, let's say it's $9 million, we still got $20 million to spend in free agency. Now, obviously, we may not spend all that. We're, typically leave around, and there's still Collins. Speaking of Collins, so his cap hit or his cut numbers as of right now, if he was to be cut today, he would be saving us $6 million. With this move, do you think it's worth to wait post June 1 to save that $1.7 million? Or do you cut him now, use that $6 million onto another deal with somebody else that you could possibly bring in another, tier 1 guy? Throw some more money at Gardner Johnson, somebody like that of his caliber.
Leal wouldn't save us $6 million right now. He'd save us about $3 million with dead money.
Is it?
3, yeah, because his dead cap is 3.3. So you can still cut him. You can still cut him right now with a post June 1 designation, and I don't think it truly matters to the cap space. As long as you know that they're cutting them, I think it accounts towards that cap, that 7.7, and it will be fine that way.
Okay, I must have misread that.
I'm thinking with Collins, what you said with getting a tier 1 guy, I think now you got your main guy. This is the biggest free agent sign you've gotten since Trey Hendrickson, DJ Reader in that caliber. So now you get your tier 3 guys. You get your Ted Karrases. You get your Kappas. You get your Hayden Hurst, your Larry Ogunjobi guys. Because that's what we need now. We still need a safety. We still need a running back, a tight end. We still have a lot of needs to fill. Obviously, you're going to get some of them in the draft. Obviously, you're going to get a lot of depth soon with players, but also just you still have a lot of money to work with.
And let's be honest, I think this move is a slap in the face to the Chiefs organization. They just signed Jawan Taylor 4 years, $80 million. And he came to Cincinnati for less. He knows that those two teams are going back and forth, and that's a big middle finger. If I'm a Chiefs fan, that's the way I take it, is big FU.
They were mad at us with Chris Lamons or some guy like that getting signed off the practice squad. How do you think they're feeling about this?
You're going to have to cope harder.
It's tricky. That situation, I think, is tricky just based off of the communication I think they had, and it's tricky there for sure. Based on, I think it was right for both teams to move on, but yeah, I think it could be a big fuck you to the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I do think this move though, it kind of sets yourself up to where you kind of know where they're going to go in the draft. Now they're going to probably end up taking either tight end or running back. In my opinion, I think it's going to be a running back. I just do. I thought that for a while. I still think that.
What about D-line?
D-line, probably not round 1. I'm thinking round 3 or 4 again.
Malik said he thinks D-line, so I don't – depends on if Bijan's there, if Michael's there, I think.
I think they're going to go attack tight end in free agency. I truly do. I think that's a move coming within the next few days. I think Gesicki, he's been mentioned a couple of times. There's no real connection to him saying that he wants to sign with us, but I know some people really love him out there.
Well, actually, I remember I heard some reports last year during the trade deadline. We tried getting him. Miami didn't budge. And then that same last offseason, if he became a free agent before getting tagged, he would have went to Cincinnati from what I heard. He would have went to the Bengals. That's where he wanted to go. So obviously Mike wants to come here. We want to get Mike, I think. think Cincinnati is scouting the department of money right now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You could see. Again, they're probably going to attack tight end in free agency or draft a running back because I think they've seen those reports of teams with cap hits against running backs and all that stuff. Drafting a running back is huge beneficial, especially if you hit. You get that guy on a rookie deal for 4 years, and you're chilling. You're chilling for 4 years, and then normally around that time you make a decision: is it worth it to extend him? Is it not? You probably shouldn't. All that crazy stuff when you cross that bridge. Mm-hmm. But I do think things will start moving in our free agency department. We were kind of waiting it out. There were reports that we were waiting it out to kind of see how the tackle market was. And, Jawan was really the only guy who got that $20 million from Kansas City.
We found out what that tackle market's like.
So we get Orlando for $16 million. The waiting process worked. It worked to fucking perfection. They know what they're doing, and I think we're going to start seeing some dominoes start to fall.
And I think there's a possibility that there are some major changes that is going to happen on this roster. Some that people aren't going to expect. But there's a possibility of some things that could happen. You never know what the NFL will shape out like, but we'll just have to wait out and see. I mean, this was a long, what was it? Almost basically two and a half days of waiting.
It took 3 days for us to finally be able to do something.
We're all sitting back just like, where's our deal?
We got Travion Williams. Let's go.
I mean, this truly has been a surprising offseason based on their approach. Well, the approach itself shouldn't say surprising. We've kind of known they were going to sit back and relax just a bit because we're not in that attack mode at this point. Mm-hmm. But it was kind of shocking not to see any guys come in for the first 3 days. You'd think at least one or maybe two. And then you have the Pratt re-signing on top of that, which came out of fucking nowhere. Nobody expected that. Not one reporter reported it. Everybody thought he was gone. He thought he was gone. We all know he thought he was gone. No matter what he said in his press conference, we know he thought he was gone. And then TJ Edwards comes out, completely resets that linebacker market, and you get Pratt on a $7 million deal with a $3 million cap hit.
I'm going to be honest.
3 years.
I thought the Bears were going to throw a bag at him. That's the team that I thought he was going to go to. And I thought I kind of had that feeling that he wanted to stay because you can kind of tell the type of a guy he is with that.
I think he wanted to stay. I don't think he expected it to stay. I don't think he expected the Bengals to match what he wanted. And I think he wanted a lot more than what he got. I think he
could have gotten more.
There's truth to that. But he ultimately decided to, take that cut because he saw Edwards. That's kind of where he is in that. He's kind of in that tier of linebackers. In my opinion, he's in that TJ Edwards, Cole Holcomb, all that type of stuff that got that $7 million contract. And he kind of took back, realized he was in a great place, and he's sticking around. And I think we'll get Logan done too eventually. We'll have a best linebacker duo we've had.
I do think we got to –
Go ahead. Well,
I was just going to say, I think we got a good idea of what – I think Malik was right. I think a lot of the sources were right about where we were going this offseason. It was in a direction we never thought because everyone said, we're going to try to retain everyone first. We got Pratt back, then everyone else leaves. And then I bet you we were only focused on Orlando. That was priority number one because if he signed somewhere else, we'd probably throw in more money at safety. Maybe we get Chauncey then. But now we know, okay, we got Orlando. We're going to cut Collins. We can see how much money we can throw out running back, how much we can throw out tight end, safety, and then we can get some depth pieces. Then we know how much money we can work with for extensions and the future. I think it's as you said, that domino falling down was a huge one. Because now I think we're going to get a couple signings in the next few days. I think we're going to get, definitely a safety tomorrow.
I would expect the safety to be signed tomorrow.
I think
the market started to go. The Browns signed Juan Thornhill. That happened today. I think CJ is
Hoyer.
close to deciding on where he wants to go. I don't know if we're in the mix or not.
If he comes here, it has to be a pay cut, and it has to be short term at this point. I mean,
I think Taylor Rapp is probably going to be your number one target right now, just based on his.
what about Julian Love? I mean, Julian Love,
good, but
he screams Bengal.
With that.
He's great at tackling. He was in the Lou Anarumo system in New York. He was
that I didn't know.
And he's really young.
Yeah.
So I'm on the Julian Love train. Who just give me a cornerback, move Cam Taylor Britt up there and say, F it, we're gonna have 2 high-picked second-year players up there and try to stop us.
We have Dax. Remember that. We have Dax.
Yeah.
Well, I want to share this tweet that
it's going to be Dax and that safety we signed. I think it's going to be Cheeto, Cam, and Mike starting at corner. I don't think that's changing. I don't think the Bengals expect that to change. Eli Apple probably will get re-signed. I'm going to say that right now. Eli Apple probably is re-signed just based on his market and what he's going on right now. Cornerback market's kind of it's not really great. I expect him back as a backup. He's probably going to be back as a backup unless Cheeto's not ready. But I do think Cheeto and Cam Taylor Britt will stay.
I think we were waiting. I think what the whole thing about us not signing anybody the first 2 days is because of this deal right here. They wanted to get those numbers worked out first because they knew that was a guy that they wanted.
They wanted to see this tackle market.
And they wanted to go after him.
What was that tweet you wanted to share?
Orlando tweeted 15 minutes ago. He said, I'm a 4-time Pro Bowl, Super Bowl champion left tackle. Put it on a fucking T-shirt.
Oh my God, he's going to be beautiful.
He's the one that created I don't know if you guys remember, but for their Super Bowl parade or after the Super Bowl, he said 0 sacks, put it on a T-shirt against the Eagles defense. Pretty sure he's the one that created that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So he's a guy. He's a dude. We knew he was a dude, but he is a genuine dude. He fits the culture. He's gonna come and fucking block that blind or that. Is it his blind side? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, left side. Be his blind side. You know,
Blind
he's
side
gonna
tackle.
have some tough tests with Myles Garrett twice a year.
He's great against power. He's great against power. That's what Myles is. He's great. TJ is more of a finesse dude, but
that's gonna be a hard matchup for Jonah. TJ.
Jonah and TJ is not proven.
Oh God,
not ideal.
Not.
But
he couldn't do good against Alex Highsmith. How are we?
Listen.
Orlando's gonna kill Myles Garrett. I'm telling you that. I'm tired of Myles Garrett getting 3 sack games against us. So, but now they could just move him to the other side, and
I don't think you move a guy like that to the other side just because of how well he plays on that side.
He wants to play left tackle, and we signed him left tackle.
Unless we have Bobby Hart on the right side, then
give us Bobby.
Yeah, I'd rather stick with Jonah. Hey, if I had to pick.
Week 15, Monday Night Football. Bobby Hart, best game as a Bengal against TJ Watt. The Ryan Finley game, everybody knows that game. I physically remember watching him block or pancake TJ that game. It was a miracle. That whole game was a miracle.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's go back to that real quick because this is a good thought. 3rd string quarterback fucking Ryan Finley going against one of the best defenses that year against 11-1 Steelers on Monday Night Football in the jungle.
Insane.
That was
insanity, man.
We ran the ball so fucking good that game. It was crazy. I miss Gio.
So ready for this season already, man. That signing just got it going. But well, you guys got anything else to add? We kind of covered the whole new update thing with Orlando. We knew we had to hop on here and do something. That's huge.
Oh my God.
Something tomorrow.
I still can't believe it.
Expect something tomorrow, and everybody else should. There will be something else tomorrow.
I won't be able to sleep tonight.
It's kind of gonna break, but I do think something big will happen tomorrow.
this breaks the seal for our free agent pause for our free agency. Going forward for the rest of this offseason.
You know what? I think Lamar could get a big deal tomorrow. I saw the Colts were going to try and pursue him.
Yeah,
That could be
they
something
didn't
that
roll him
comes
out.
to fruition in the next few days. Excited to watch that go down. If he comes back to Baltimore, bring it on. I don't care. People want him gone, obviously, just for a weaker division. I don't care. Bring on that comp. Bring on the competition.
He's a hell of a player, man. He's going to ball out wherever he goes. Obviously, just because of the division's sake, you hope he's somewhere else. Just because
I'm
of how
watching
good
the
he is.
Steelers too. I'm watching the Steelers. They got hot at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Just that team in general. George Pickens, Kenny Pickett.
Pickens is a stud, man.
They got hot. Pickett.
They're going to get rolling.
I was impressed with Pickett more than anything, and I'm not scared to admit that.
Yeah, for sure. They're
Ravens
be a
game,
team to watch
Browns
out
game
for.
was good.
I mean, what were they? They were what were they? They were 3-8 and won their last 6.
Yeah, they were 3-8, and Mike Tomlin just said, "Fuck you! I'm not losing my record to this shit."
Yep. All right, boys. Well, this will conclude this episode of the Orlando Brown special. We'll be coming out with some more stuff here soon. But till next time.